नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, visitors, viewers, everyone sitting with us all over the world through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, Ara TV, and two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha all over the world. Cities sitting with us through two-way video conferencing. Vancouver, Houston, Dakota Dunes, London, Richmond, Washington, Indrani, New Jersey, China, Hyderabad, Charlotte, Hong Kong, Madurai, Rajapalayam, Panka City, Oklahoma, Tiruvannamalai, Hyderabad, Melbourne, Toronto, St. Louis, Ohio, Oman, Guadeloupe, Los Angeles, Seattle, Kuala Lumpur, and more cities. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Today, the Rajarajeshwari Brahmotsavam, third day, Devi is gracing on Swarna Simhavahana, golden lion vehicle with all the Sarvalankara. And today also, the Seattle Chidambaram, which was called earlier Nityananda Vedic Temple, now which is functioning with a new name, Nityanandeshwara Hindu Temple, the temple's 7th anniversary. My blessings to Seattle, and I also accepted all the 108 Nivedyams offered. Blessings to every one of you who held the temple together throughout the period. All the organizers, donors, volunteers who worked directly, indirectly for everyone, my blessings. And Mahadeva will continue to do his cosmic dance in Seattle and bless not only our Sangha, the whole Seattle. Blessings. Blessings to everyone. Mahadeva will continue to do his cosmic dance and bless everyone. Ananda Nataraja, he will do his cosmic dance and bless everyone. My blessings. 7 years running a temple. Only the people who run, they know. Along with his dance, he made us all dance, do all the cosmic dance. He has shown us creation, maintenance, destruction, covering, and gracing. Means Srishti, Sthiti, Vinasha, Trobhava, Anugraha, all the 5 Leelas. He has done and he has shown all the five to us. Now he is gracing. From now he will continue to bless us and grace us. Let me enter into today's satsang. I'll expand on the fourth verse of Isavasya Upanishad. Please recite along with me. Anejadegam manaso javiyaha nainattevo apnuvan purvamarshate tattavato anyanatyeti tishtattasmin napomadarishvadatati. Understand, yesterday I was expanding on why these qualities of consciousness, Isha, are described. As I said, even if you describe a negative quality, Isha becomes Ishvara. The moment you try to perceive, relate, connect, even to become one with Isha, he has to grace us as Ishvara, only then he can make us as Isha. Please listen. Again and again I repeat, Aham can never become Shivoham. Only Shiva can extend himself and just take the whole Aham inside and radiate as Shivoham. Isha, the pure space, the consciousness, without any attributes. You can't even give the attribute of super consciousness or super consciousness. The attributeless, I can say attributeless is it's not a proper word. That word does not convey the meaning. Unattributable. You can't attribute anything. That consciousness, the moment you try to describe positively or negatively, the moment you try to describe, oh, it is compassionate, it is ever loving, it is graceful, then you are giving a positive description. Or if you do negative description, it cannot be realized by mind, speech, senses, where the life energy moves and expands. Where you give the negative description, gods of senses cannot overtake and go beyond it. Nainatteva apnuvan purvamarshatu. It cannot be cut by the sword and whatnot. Understand? Whether you give a positive attributions or negative descriptions, the Isha becomes Ishvara to support us to experience Isha. But Isha and Ishvara are not two. It is pure oneness. Listen. Isha and Ishvara are not two. It is pure oneness. That is why working on the consciousness, whether through the positive attributes or through the negative descriptions, makes us experience Isha, the consciousness. Listen, yesterday I was expanding why these qualities are described in the Upanishads. Why Upanishad is taking one full sloka to declare. This whole Upanishad can be written just in a postcard. In those days, India used to have a postcard. I don't know whether still it exists. Telegram has stopped. I don't know whether postcard still exists. Just in a postcard, you can write this whole Upanishad. You don't need A4 size paper to write this whole Upanishad. Such short Upanishad. Please understand, to tell something very short, you need more time. One of the great author, he wrote a 40-page book. Somebody asked, why did you write such short book? Just 40-page book. You didn't have time? He said, no, I had enough time. That is why I wrote 40-page. If I did not have time, I would have written 400-page. Understand, condensing takes intelligence and energy, not expanding. When you are expanding, you are not responsible. You can utter whatever you want. Only when it is condensed, you are responsible. You are bound by every word you utter. Listen. The Bhashyakaras, the freedom Bhashyakaras experience, commentators experience, Sutrakaras don't have. People who create the original verses don't have the freedom enjoyed by the commentators. It's all just few verses. Maybe I think 18 or 19 verses. In this, why one full verse is dedicated? Especially for the negative description. It is not even positive attributes. For the negative description, anechategam manasojaviyaha. What a description. Anechategam. Anechat egam. Unmoving. Oneness. Manasojaviyaha. Swifter than the mind. So, any form your mind assumes, it is already gone beyond that. It cannot be grasped, grabbed by the mind. Please listen. Mind never tries to grasp anything. It can only try to grab because it is based on restlessness. Please understand, grasping a person is love. Grabbing a person is lust. Grasping an existence is communion. Trying to grab it is taking possession. Understand? When you grasp, both will be in the space of completion. When you grab, both will be in the space of incompletion. Mind never plans to grasp. It is buddhi grasps. Mind always grabs. Always grabs. See what we have all done to the planet Earth. Never ever there was a time so much damage was done to Bhuma Devi, Mother Earth. And now these fellows are moving towards Mars. I told Angaraga, the god of Mars, be aware, my fellows are coming. What they have done here, if you want, send your representatives and see what to do. No, wherever we go, the mess, the way we grab. And even after grabbing so much, we have not provided for everyone. Please understand, that is what. So much of no has been said to life. End of the day, if all the human beings are provided, the basic needs like a food, shelter, clothes and house, at least it can be tolerable mistake, tolerable blunder. But I tell you, a consciousness from which you feel you need to provide for everyone, you will never be able to grab. The mind from which you grab, you will never have the feeling you need to provide for everyone. That is why so much of grabbing is done, and still people are not provided. This concept, if people are provided, will become lazy, is completely wrong. Please understand. The Saraswati and Ganga, both the mothers, have provided so much for us. Even after that, we never become lazy. Please understand. In the Vedic civilization, the Saraswati and Ganga, actually the whole Vedic civilization happened between these two rivers. And they did not merge into the ocean as you think in West Bengal area. The Ganga moved lower than Sri Lanka because the whole thing was a land. When Vedic civilization evolved, almost Ganga went up to Australia, and below the Australia it merged into the ocean. And I can give you enough of evidences from Akashic records and many research scholars who are working on the history and how the geography changed in course of time and all that. So between these two rivers, Saraswati went up to this side, below the South Africa, and Ganga went up to this side till Australia and merged into the ocean. The area covered in between these two rivers is the place where Vedic civilization flourished. Please understand. Ganga Mata and Saraswati Mata, both of them provided so much for us, but we never become lazy. I tell you, just because the basic needs are provided, human beings will become lazy is a wrong concept. Human consciousness, by its nature, it is programmed for action. Krishna says very clearly, Gahano karmano gadihi. World is programmed for action. How many days you will sleep? How long you will be running your life without a strategy? How long you will be entertaining boredom? How long you will be entertaining tiredness? As long as you have that hatred towards your boss whom you think is exploiting you, just to take revenge on your boss, you will lie down in the beach in the name of vacation. That's all. All vacation is nothing but taking revenge on your boss. That's all. I'm telling you. Just to take revenge. You are exploiting me. You are swindling me. Come on, see now. I won't do anything. Throwing tantrum. Even in your inner space, when you feel exploited, somebody takes undue advantage of you, then you throw tantrum and you protest and you decide, I am not going to do anything. But how long you can entertain your boredom and tiredness and rebelliousness? I tell you, not more than few days. If you can entertain your tiredness and boredom forever, I have no problem. Try to entertain. The lazy people, tamasic people, they may not use their body, they may not do actions, but they will always feel the body pain. Understand? You can't entertain laziness for too much, too long. You will be active. You will start expressing. Whether you grab or deny the responsibility of sharing, please understand, both are from unconsciousness. Mind always tries to grab. That is why here Upanishad declares, Manaso Javiyo. It outruns the grabbing mechanism you have. All of us have this grabbing mechanism called mind. The consciousness outruns the grabbing mechanism. Yesterday I described the context, the reason why these qualities about consciousness is described. Today, let us see one by one. The today's subject for Vakyartha Sadas is studying all these qualities based on these descriptions, trying to grasp consciousness, not grab, you can't. Trying to grasp consciousness means you need to have a subtle intellect, sukshma buddhi, to grasp these truths. Please understand. Whenever my teachers wanted to teach subtle concepts, I should not use the word teacher, I should use the word masters. I wanted to complete and change the word masters. Whenever my masters wanted to teach me the subtle concepts, they will put me on herbal diet. They'll give me the arugambul. I don't know the English name for that grass. It's a unique grass which grows near the water ponds, which is used for worshipping Ganesha. So they'll give that juice. Sometimes the bale juice, vilva. Sometimes Bermuda grass, the arugambul's English name Bermuda grass. They'll give me the Bermuda grass juice and bale juice, sometimes neem juice, and they'll cook the pineapple fruit in the night and take the juice in the morning and process it with some traditional herbs and give. This kind of a juice diet they will put me. Of course, I enjoyed everything other than neem juice. They will put me in the juice diet for sometime even 1 month. I used to wonder why the teaching, means learning of Vedanta, should go with this kind of herbal diet. One day I asked them also. Then they said, all right, you eat whatever you want and come back. And as usual, in those days, that the big feast means that vadai and payasam. That is the traditional feast. I went and had all the traditional feast and came back. They tried to explain some of the concepts, truths of Vedanta. I tell you honestly, I was not able to grasp. Then they gave me gingerly oil and cleaned my stomach and haritaki powder for 2 days. After 2-3 days, again they started teaching the concept. I was just like that, able to grasp. Then I understood the power of that food and that sutra which says Agara Suddhi. Based on the purity of food, your intellect gets purified. Your memory gets purified. Your ability to grasp increases. See, when you are not able to grasp, but you have to act as if you are an intelligent person, you try to grab and mess up the whole thing. You always have the pressure that you have to show you are an intelligent person. You understand everything better than others. But when you are not able to grasp, what you do? You grab and mess up the whole thing. One day I asked him, the great Isaki Swamigal was sitting, and Kuppamal was sitting with a book, and Raghupati Yogi was just cleaning his teeth. He will have all the time on small stick and be constantly cleaning his teeth and listening and chewing that stick also once in a while. And this other 1 or 2 old sadhus were sitting. I asked them, everyone who studies Upanishads and Vedanta, all these concepts, do they go through this kind of diet? Because that day it was neem juice. And I also have been told that I have to take the neem juice at least for next 2 weeks. And I asked them, So everyone who goes through studying the Vedanta, do they go through this kind of a diet, herbal diet? Because in Tiruvannamalai, in another ashram, their Vedanta Pada goes on, means Vedanta classes happen. I see there people have nice, good food and feasting and enjoying and coming and sitting in the class. And I asked why they all don't follow that Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhihi, Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smritihi. I asked why they don't follow all that, and means when the food is pure, then the sattva becomes pure. When the sattva is pure, then the smriti, means the ability to remember and connect and grasp. Understand, the definition of smriti is ability to recollect the essence and connect it with the present and grasp it and assimilate it. So I asked, I don't see they all doing any herbal diet and all this preparation. This Isaki Swamigal usually he will just sit in samadhi. This Kuppamal only will read the book. I have to sit and listen. This Raghupati Yogi is such an active being. He will be sitting and cleaning the teeth with that small stick he has. And this person will be sitting in samadhi. Rarely he will open his eyes and interfere with this whole flow and say something and again close his eyes, be in samadhi. Isaki Swamigal, he never wears any clothes. So when he sits, he will just put a small towel on him. He is Avaduta, and this is the scene. So I asked Kuppammal, when she was talking about this food and all that, I said, others don't do all that, only I am drinking the neem juice every day. She just smiled at me, did not answer. She was looking at Isaki Swamigal. Then Isaki Swami opened his eyes and said, they are all trying to understand only for themselves. Even if they make a mistake, nothing wrong. You have to teach to everyone. You can't afford to make a mistake. In Tamil, I will repeat exact word. அவனுக்கு புரிஞ்சாலும் அவிஞ்சாலும் அவனோட அழிஞ்சு போகும்டா. நீ சொல்லி உலகம் கேட்க போகுது, உனக்கு புரிஞ்சே ஆகணும். He said, whether they understand or not, whether they grasp or grab, finally the result and responsibility goes just with them. They get destroyed with what they understood, misunderstood. Whether they understand or misunderstand, it gets destroyed along with them. But in your case, we can't take the risk because whatever you are going to say, the world is going to listen. So you have to understand properly. You have to understand properly. I tell you, really, these subtle principles, subtle concepts, especially these concepts like a oneness, I can give you very simple examples. Take Haritaki powder in the night. Next day morning, try to read Upanishads and see the depth of understanding you are able to have. Another day, take McDonald's burger. What is that? Multi-story size. And grasp a large size Coca-Cola, ending it with multiple topping pizza and fill yourself and lie down. Next day morning, first of all, let's see whether you wake up or not. Then, if you wake up, try to grab some Vedantic book and try to read and understand. Then you will see the difference. Why the herbal diet is required. Even in Inner Awakening, why I insist on having Aritaki powder, why I insist on having the sattvic food, pure vegetarian food, because your system develops subtle intellect where you can grasp. You don't need to grab. See, if you grab the word yegam, you will only understand as one. If you grasp the word yegam, only then you will understand oneness. The most subtle understandings happen when the subtle grooves develop in your brain, which happens by the pure sattvic food and herbal diet. Step by step, let's try to grasp what Upanishads are declaring in this verse. It is actually consciousness giving its own address and declaring about itself to all of us. This verse is the visiting card of consciousness. If you just follow this verse, you will reach Isha. You will reach the pure consciousness. First, Anejat, the word. Anejat, unmoving. The first verse of Isavasya Upanishad said, Ishavasya midagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Jagatyam jagat means changing square. Change established on change. Change established on change. Changing square. Now, please understand, Isha, consciousness, it is filled. Actually, the whole universe is change established on change. Even though the change is established on the change, it is filled with Isha, consciousness. Now, Upanishads are declaring it is unmoving, but that itself does not change. Please understand. Isha, consciousness. It fills the universe which is change established in change. Jagatyan jagat. But this itself is unmoving. I think you should not become tired psychologically or feel bored mentally. You should meditate on this truth. I give you one simple, practical tip. Next 11 days, every morning, drink that Bermuda grass juice. The arugambul juice, maybe 200 ml. That will cleanse your system so much. Please understand, as I am working with thousands and thousands of different disorders and diseases in the world, diagnosed, undiagnosed, some production problems or post-production problems, with all types and all sorts I am working. With that authority I am telling you, the moment creatinine increases in the body, the ability to grasp reduces. I am just trying to give some examples for you so that you can understand the connection between body and mind. Just have this Bermuda grass juice for next few days. We will continue to meditate on each of these qualities. Today's Vakyartha Sadas is only on this one word, Anejat. That's all. Unmoving. What is it that is unmoving? Earth is moving, moon is moving, sun is moving. Don't believe sun is not moving. It is moving, but in a pace where you can't grasp. It takes billions of years. See, the whole sun family is moving, centered on something else. So everything is moving. What is that is unmoving? The idea you exist is the only one unmoving. Understand? Before you grasp anything, the experience you remember that I exist, before you perceive anything, before you are able to think anything, before you are able to understand anything, whether an idea or a concept or a truth or the sensory experiences, whether it is a sun or moon or earth or universe, you only have to grasp. The being which grasps, its easiness is the only unmoving. If it goes above your head, wash your hair with gingerly oil. Means let it become a little cool. You will have to sit and do manana, internalizing. What is that anejat? What is that unmoving? Consciousness is declaring itself, I am unmoving. If you grasp what is unmoving, you will grasp who am I, what am I. So grasping the consciousness is the first priority for all of us as seekers. For that only we are doing whatever we are doing. whether it is standing upside down or practicing vegetarianism or applying the vibhuti from temple to temple, or trying to collect the brown color cows and their cow dung to make the vibhuti, bhasma, or wear big rudraksh malas, which catches the eyeballs of the people. Whatever we are doing, building temples, rituals, everything, the purpose is to grasp what is consciousness. Here, direct technique, directly consciousness, Isha is giving his visiting card. I don't want to say his or her. Isha is giving, I can't even say it's. Isha is giving visiting card. The visiting card, the first line it says unmoving. It is like a unmoving apartments on a street. Manaso Javiyo Nagar means which moves swifter than the mind, Nagar. And Nainatyeva Apnuvan Purvamarshat Taluk. That is what the visiting card says. Let us start grasping, which happens by manana. Please understand, manana. By internalizing, anejat, unmoving. The beauty of these descriptions are such, you only can realize. No one else can teach you by the commentaries, no. The more I try to comment on this verse, more questions I will create in you. That's the real commentary. If I am giving you more answers, no, it is not commentary. It is just lullaby. Lullaby. Okay, this is the way the consciousness is. You please rest. Don't worry. No. I am not going to sing lullaby. I am going to give you the weapon. Understand? The weapon to analyze. Questions are the weapon with which you can analyze and internalize. Somebody told me the other day, Swamiji, now I have more questions than the number of questions I had when I came to you. I said, I have done my job exactly. I have a job satisfaction now. I always tell you, please understand, the guru who only answers your questions will lead you to a cult, just following. The guru who questions your answers, who makes you think, internalize, only he will lead you to a culture. Understand, the Vedic tradition is always a culture where following is purely voluntary. We were so strong about our ability of transmitting the truths. We were so clear about the heaviness of our presence. We declared our religion as voluntary following. understand, nobody forces you to go and buy the rice and cook and eat. It is voluntary. If you have hunger, you know where the food is, go and buy and cook and eat. Same way, we are so clear. These truths are the only way for you to get out of your sufferings. We made it as completely voluntary. Please understand. People who does not want to follow the Vedic structure or the lifestyle or this dharma were given full freedom and space in all kingdoms, in our own culture itself. So understand, that is why we did not have organization. We only had educating centers. We never had organizations. We only had educating centers. We were so sure about, we were and we are so sure about the whole thing. We made the whole thing voluntary. Understand? Voluntarily, if you want, you can follow. If you don't want, you don't need to be. That space gives the space for everyone to discover Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The most discovered religion is Sanatana Hindu Dharma. I don't want to say most followed, no. Most discovered religion is Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Most discovered tradition is Advaitic Shaivite tradition. Let's meditate on this one truth today. Anejat, unmoving. And today's Vakyartha Sadas is all about unmoving. What is unmoving? Which is unmoving? What is the definition of moving? Come on, try to grasp. Try to grasp by having Vakyartha Sadas, internalizing this one word, Anejat, unmoving. Because only if there is a space where you are not filled, you will be able to move. See, if there is a space where I am not filled, in this seat, for example, I am sitting, there is a space in this seat where I am not, so I can move. But there are some people, if they sit in this seat, they will be filling this seat. So no space where they will be moving. Inside this seat they can't move because they are already filled. So understand why consciousness declares itself as unmoving, because it has filled every possible space exists. It is already filled. That is why it can't move anywhere anymore. So try to grasp, define what is moving, what is unmoving, why something is moving, why something is not moving, and what all moves, what all does not move. Among the things does not move, what should be consciousness? What is the truth? The consciousness is trying to make us understand by this word anejat, unmoving. Have Vakyartha Sadas and enjoy. Come back for tomorrow's satsang to understand and internalize the word ekam. With this, I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Advaita, eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.